Well, guys, it is a beautiful warm fall day, and it is time to get back to work wrenching on some Tri Five Chevys. I got a lot to do. Hey guys, Jeff at Hubie's Garage, and yeah, it's been a while since I've really been able to put out some good video of working on the Tri Fives and the stuff going on here at the garage. So I had a lot of video that I filmed and shot, and haven't really been able to put it together into something consistent and coherent that works. So it's been a lot of little snippets here and there of things that have been going on that really haven't been worth filming by themselves. This kind of stuff dates back to August. So I kind of wanted to do kind of a catch-all where I throw everything in and just kind of show you a little bit here and there about what's been going on since that time. Been a lot of stuff going on with family, with vacationing, the house, and homeschooling my youngest. And then also was gone for a week, taking the middle child, taking her up to college and getting her moved in. So that's why I'm packing the colors. And anyway, just wanted to kind of get you guys caught up with everything. The garage is staying pretty well organized. I mean, we've got the one corner over here that the kid basically has all of his stuff. That's his corner that he has all of his stuff in, and he's working on a project right now. His Nova, the throwout bearing, actually broke into a couple of pieces. So he's going through a clutch rebuild. He's going to redo the linkage, do some upgrades, maybe even possibly put a hydraulic clutch in there. We'll see how that goes, but he kind of does his own thing, and you know, I respect his privacy that he wishes for as far as with me with the channel. So you know, he does a lot of fun stuff, and occasionally you'll see him helping me out with stuff, which is great. But anyway, yeah, let's get you caught up with the garage and the projects. A little bit of a crazy Ivan here. As you can see, we took on another vehicle here. This is Ari DeBernia's 60 Chevy Apache, and you know, just kind of helping Ari out. Ari was in the middle of an engine swap with the truck, and he ended up having to take the 6-cylinder out and put his 350 Chevy in. He originally had the 235/6 with the three on the floor, and he ended up putting a 350 Chevy in it, and we got the Granny Gear 4-speed in it. So Ari was in the middle of doing the engine swap with the Apache, and he ended up losing his spot where he was doing the work. And my son, who normally parks his Nova here, he was in Mississippi for 2 or 3 weeks. So I just said, hey, you know, why not bring the truck over here? We can get it done, and by the time you're done with it, the kid will be back. So he's kind of helping a brother YouTuber out, and it's been fun being here, having him here, you know, helping him out with it, and kind of a different project from what I'm used to working on. So that's in process right now. Ari's been doing a great job with it. Had a couple little minor setbacks, but truck's almost done. We're just waiting on the drive shaft to come back from being balanced, and then it goes off to the muffler shop for a new Y pipe, and then we'll have this out of here, and then the kid will have his parking spot back. See some of Ari's followers. Did Ari get a new Apache? She's dusty, but she runs. And so anyway, that just leaves me with what I've been up to here. Obviously, you guys remember the Del Rey's home. Unfortunately, the Del Rey is going to be put on the back burner for a bit. So I have some more pressing issues with the gasser. What ended up happening was I decided to get the gasser painted. We had 3 events that were coming up. We had the In-N-Out Burger 75th anniversary at Pomona Raceway. We had Nitro Revival, and then of course the Moon Eyes New Year's party in January. And I thought, you know, we might have a little bit of a window to get the car painted back to its original sea mist green and do the lettering and get it back looking the way that it did. You know, there's no historical value whatsoever in this white paint job. In fact, it was kind of something that was done in a way to cover up the history of the car. So historically, I don't really have any likeness for the car. It kind of reminds me of the years where I left it out while we were building our house, and you could see, you know, the paint just started peeling off. You know, some people might say that it's got nice patina and all that, but really there's no pictures of it running when it was this way, painted this way. You know, it basically looks like a completely different car, where historically, you know, the car set all the records, was well known, you know, all across the country. I mean, the car ran all over California, Arizona, and at Indy with this color. So thought that there was a window to get that done, get the car back out on the track, and things kind of fell through with the painter. He got real busy, and he had a lot of things on his calendar, so the window closed. I started to get into getting the Hillborns tuned. We'll have some upcoming footage of that, and tried to we were going to put the car back together and get it back out and basically just try to run the car as is with a better tune-up, but it just got to be too much to do that. It was the Hillborns got real finicky, and it just wasn't an easy slam dunk with the limited time we had with the car. So the current plan is to stay the course. We've already started to take it apart. We're going to get back with the painter and the letterer, and we're going to get this car back to the way that it needed to be, and that's original, when everybody knew the car, when the car has pictures of it everywhere, including some new photos that we found of the car in the Peterson archives. So we're going to do the car right and get it back to the way that it was back then. And that just kind of brings us back to this one. With not having a vehicle for any of those great events, I've decided that and actually attempted to get this car running and take it to Pomona for the In-N-Out Burger event, but we obviously didn't get that done. So the reality of this car is that it's been sitting for longer than I thought. I thought it was going to be a real quick and easy carb rebuild, put some fluid in the brakes, rebuild the master cylinder, do the wheel cylinders, and you know, go make some 105-mile-an-hour passes down the Pomona Raceway. Well, the reality is that it sat too long, and there was a lot more things that needed attention, and I just really wasn't willing to risk having an unsafe car go down the track. So there's some more content on this, and what we're going to be doing with this one is we're going to go ahead and get this one completely done and finished, as far as getting it drivable, getting it back on the road, and we're going to make sure that we have one car in the group of 5 that is always ready whenever an event pops up, whenever something's going on. And if somebody calls up with a last-minute event or decide to go to a cruise, a drag race, whatever, we will always have a car that's at the ready that we can use and fall back on. And then hopefully by that time we'll have this one, we'll be back on this one, have this one out getting painted and lettered and put back together. And then once these two are back where they need to be, then I can get back on the Del Rey. So we're going to stay focused on the Bel Air two-door sedan. I am going to spend a day or two on Howie's hardtop because there are some items on Howie's hardtop that need attention so that we can continue to go out and drive that car. So that's the updates with the car, or cars I should say. The four-door obviously is in Montana, and that's on the back burner. So I will continue to work on the Bel Air two-door sedan, get it done, and the plan will be to try to get this one to Moon Eyes. More realistic goal, especially since the In-N-Out Burger and Nitro Revival have already passed. I still need to get the Hilborn coolant or piping redone. I got to do that soon. I also got some floor jack hangers. I've actually got 4 of these, so I can hang up 8 jack stands on the wall. I've already got a couple of them up over on the wall. I'll show you those now. These are the jack stand wall hangers. They're supposed to, jack stands are supposed to fit flush, but the stem of the jack stand is actually too wide for the stand itself. It's real close. I could bend them out, but so far I've just put them on like that. They're holding the weight. I got 2 more to put up to hold 4 more jack stands, because I still have some more down here. The additional jack stand hangers mounted. Unfortunately, 6 of the jack stands, this empty rack here holds 4. 6 of the jack stands are in use right now. Also got my creeper hung up, but the jack stand racks were pretty nice. I bought these off of, I think they were Facebook Marketplace. It's a company that sells them. They do a good job of keeping the jack stands up off the floor and you know, giving you space. Now I just need to find some space, or some hangers I should say, for the car dollies, because we've got quite a few car dollies, and this is really the only way we have of using those right now. So now, one other item that I had here on the parts washer was I did have my visors for the Bel Air two-door sedan. Had some black vinyl sun visors. Our normal upholstery guy, apparently they lost their auto upholstery guy, so they don't really do that stuff anymore. So I had to kind of go out and look for some reviews and word of mouth and stuff like that, and I found a guy a couple cities away from me that has really good reviews, and he's doing both of the sun visors for $55 each right now. So he's going to do some black vinyl and get those matched up, and then if everything goes well with that, I'll take one of my door panels on the car to get that repaired. So I got the sun visors off, and those are out at his shop now. And if everything goes well, then I will take the door panel off, because this is a big gooey mess. I can remember all the years of going out in this car, street racing, and just you know, having a good time with friends and whatnot. And it seemed like every jacket or sleeve or whatever that I came home with has the black goo all over it because of this door panel. So I'll have him repair that, and then also repair the seat. That's if the sun visors go well. And yeah, it'll be nice to get all this stuff fixed finally after all these years, and you know, get this thing back on the road. All right, so got the sun visors back, and $55 a piece. This was really nice. The Naga height was all messed up. He added some padding, added a little seam around the edge, stitched them up real nice. It matches the rest of my interior, which is nice, and just some black Naga height or vinyl. The only thing I didn't have was I did not have the little stainless clips that came with the visors, and I will have to take the visor mounts off and clean up the chrome a little bit, because it's got a few years of use on them. So, but for 110 for the pair, that was a really nice job. I left the door panel with him, so he's going to fix the door panel, and then after that we'll fix the seat bottom. So another thing on the list checked off. Okay, so I got a few parts here. I got one that just came in the mail. It's a company I've never tried with before, but when I went to go do the search for the 210 Beltline clips, this company popped up, and just decided to give them a chance, give them a shot. The original clips that came in a kit, and that the clips were basically for all four pieces of the Beltline trim. You've got the piece back here on the quarter window, which I showed you. You've got 7 clips for this one, and you've got 7 clips for the other side, and I believe the front door has 10 clips. So total of 37 clips, I believe. It just comes in a kit, little baggy kit. Anyway, I tried looking around, and one of the companies that was a good company, good old company back in the day, is Old 55 Parts. So I remember somebody, one of the parts suppliers, and I'm not going to say his name because, you know, these guys, they are trustworthy guys to buy parts from. I mean, these are, you know, with the world of scammers out there, that and the scammers that have fake profiles on Marketplace, you know, that want you to send money to them, you know, on PayPal, you know, friends and family, so that, you know, they could basically take your money and then you don't have any way to get your parts. You know, it's good to have these guys. There's quite a few guys that buy a lot of you know, parts cars, and they strip them down and they get parts out to you. And those are the guys that I've bought from a couple of them before. I know we had Dennis from Caveman Garage, you know, bought some parts from one of the guys, and he ended up sending me the trunk torsion bars. You know, and then there's about 4 or 5 of those guys that are out there that are trustworthy. But I was a little bit taken aback because the guy, you know, originally, if you look in the very last Dan Chuck catalog, these clips were $38. and then the guy who made them passed away, and then suddenly everybody, whether they started hoarding them or, you know, went into a frenzy of, oh my gosh, I've got 4 of these cars, I got to buy the parts for them. Well, this guy had, apparently he had 2 packages of them from Old 55, and from the original last known price when they were being produced, 38 bucks, this company here wanted 89. So I was fine with that. You know, that's reasonable. I had reached out to one of the parts guys who strips the Tri Fives and sells stuff. He had some brand new, or I should say, in the bag, original, kind of like new old stock kind of stuff, I guess you could say, maybe. But he had parts from Old 55, and for the same kit, he wanted $200, plus you had to pay shipping. So I wasn't real thrilled with that, and it kind of put me on a quest to try to locate these things. So when I did a Google search, these guys popped up first and foremost, and not only that, they said they had them in stock, and they said that if they were listed on the website, that they were guaranteed to be in stock. So I know the town. It's not far from a friend of mine I went to high school with, and it's actually the same town that Uncle Tony's in. So figured, hey, why not? I'll give him a shot. So I think originally they were named something before, and they may have been in California at one time, but like most of the people who fled, I think they and their company ended up in Tennessee. So thought I'd give them a shot, and we'll give them a shout out. We'll open this up and see what it looks like. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get this thing open. Do this with one hand here. All right. Oh, perfect. All right, I had a door spear for the Del Rey that I had been missing the passenger side. I didn't have it. Couldn't find one. It was kind of difficult. And these guys actually had one, as well as they had the belt molding clip set. So, and what do you know? There it is, the old 55, and it's the original part number. So real nice that these guys, you know, instead of $200, you pay the shipping. These were $89.95, and then I paid shipping for that and the door spear. In fact, oh yeah, there's their old company name, but yeah, they're now i5 Classic Chevy, and yeah, I'm really impressed with this. This is really nice. In fact, this door spear was the last one they had. Because I went back and tried to look for another one, and they said out of stock. So I apparently bought the last one. They still, believe it or not, I don't know if it's true today, but they still had other belt molding kits. But I definitely need this for the Del Rey. And just based on the fact that they're so hard to find, I may end up trying to salvage my my old original ones here. So maybe a little muriatic acid or something else might work, but they're not in too bad a shape. But it's just nice to have nice, clean, unrusted clips that aren't going to start rusting into your paint or in underneath your car. So yeah, real happy with this. Real happy with i5 Classic Chevy, and give them a try if you need some parts. So anyway, you know, it's a free country and you can do whatever you want. I can't fault a guy for wanting a lot of money for parts, especially if they're obsolete. You know, if people are crazy enough to pay for the parts like that, then, you know, more power to them. More power to those guys. I'm kind of a little bit more along the lines of, you know, trying to stay a little bit reasonable. You know, it's nice to help the hobby along. You know, if people are new to the hobby, you got younger kids that are in the hobby and whatnot, and you know, they're trying to put these cars or get these cars back on the road, and you got guys that are out there gouging people for parts. You know, it's just, you know, it's whatever. I mean, you know, like I say, it's a free country, but I'm more along the lines of, you know, wanting to help people out. I definitely want to bring new blood into the hobby, because, you know, these cars, you know, are going to get to the point where, you know, nobody's going to be around to want to collect them anymore. You know, I'm watching the forums and people ask questions, and you know, some of the old timers like myself, you might look at it and go, wow, that's a really dumb question. But instead of just scolding them or ripping them, you know, these newbies, you know, it's just best to help them out, you know, make it a nice experience. I mean, these are the people that when you get down to your deathbed and your family's got to sell your prized possession Tri Five, you know, if you've chased all these newbies out of the hobby that nobody wants the car, then you basically just cut your own throat. So that's why I'm more along the lines of wanting to be helpful and, you know, try to keep the hobby reasonable. So anyway. Okay, so again, we've got a lot of different things going on. I'm still looking for parts for the four-door, and you know, I had bought the garnish moldings from my buddy John out in Montana. The guy I got the 6-cylinder from, and some other Tri Five parts, the 57 Pontiac. He had some front door garnish moldings for the four-door, and I just managed to find these on OfferUp. A guy by the name of Dan, who's got a number of great cars that he's restoring, a 68 Camaro, and he's doing a 55 four-door to two-door conversion, and I noticed he was selling the four-door front doors. So I reached out to him and I said, hey, do you happen to have the back door garnish moldings for the original four doors, for the back doors? And he said, yeah, $50, come get them. So drove out there the next day, and this is what I got. I got the back door garnish moldings. They're in real good shape. There was a little bit of a dent right there, but nothing, a little bit of dollying didn't take care of. And these things will get blasted and be ready for paint. But I'm going to put those in the tub or the tote that I have that's got all the four-door parts. I have the ashtray from the front seat that goes on the back. I've got the front ashtray. I've got all the garnish moldings now. I'm working on finding a gas tank for it. I'm in the process of possibly purchasing. I've located a gas tank. I've located a bumper, and hoping to pick those up here shortly. And those will go in the tote that will be set aside for when we get to the four-door, which is unfortunately last in the queue. So made a couple trips out to Classic Industries, various parts here and there. Thought I was going to be putting the gasser back together, and ended up getting some fender seals, some inner fender to fender seals. I guess they're made by Soft Seal, which has always been a pretty good company. But we'll set those aside for the gasser when we get it done from the paint shop and we start putting it back together. I also got some water pump gaskets. Actually, I'm not sure how these got in the bag. I got these at Napa. My local Napa was having a tool fair, and I just stopped to check out the tool fair and thought, well, you know what, I'll get some water pump gaskets and a thermostat housing gasket, because the water pump and the thermostat housing on the 55 Bel Air, they're going to need to be stripped and repainted because they're not looking too good. So we'll get those painted, cleaned up, put back on, have the new gaskets. That'll be ready to go. And then being that the car hasn't physically been out driving in 20 years, you know, it's just one of those things where I just decided it's time to get some new parts that, you know, the parts that are on it now, they're probably okay, but, you know, I just want to go through and make sure that everything else is fresh and working on the car. So I got an upper and lower radiator hose for the Bel Air, and, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and put new hoses on it. I'm going to have the water pump off on it, so may as well do all that stuff. I also am having, you know, as a part of redoing the master cylinder and putting new wheel cylinders on the car, I also decided it was time to get some new brake hoses. So I've got two for the front, and then I've got the one for the center rear end. You know, it's Dorman's for the front, and then the Centric for the center rear, which I guess Centric is made in China. But, you know, what can you do? So the Dorman parts will go on the front. I guess there's a good possibility that when we were going through and bleeding the brakes on the car, just checking the brake system, that we weren't getting a lot of brake fluid that was traveling to the wheel cylinders. So, you know, at this point, it's time to probably replace some stuff. I know that there is a rear brake line on the rear axle that was done, that my dad did years ago, and then when we switched the car over for a line lock, we kind of jerry-rigged the old brake line, and you know, it's just not supported on the rear axle. It just doesn't look right. It's set up for having the brake line on the passenger side of the car, and when we put the line lock on the car, we ended up moving the brake line onto the driver's side frame rail, and the T has been moved also. So there's some things that probably need to be redone on that. So the kid had some leftover coated steel lines, and I also happen to have some fittings that I got from Speedway. So I'm just going to go ahead and make up some new brake lines for their rear axle. You know, I wanted to get stainless, but stainless is pretty tough to work with. This coated stuff is pretty bulletproof, and it's easier to work with. And I've got the tubing, the flare tubing kits. I've got the kid has a real nice one that Speedway sells, and then I've also bought the small handheld one that you could do the brake lines on the car if you have to. Both of them, I've used both of them, and they work real nice. So figure it's just, you know, if I got the tubing, I'm going to go ahead and make up new brake lines for the 55, the Bel Air, because again, those things have been sitting for a long time, and the steel, you know, gets rusted inside, and there's a good possibility that they're clogged up, and they're certainly not done right. So it's time to go through and just clean all that stuff up. All right, time for second round of coffee, and also happen to have a package that came in today. So let's go ahead and cut this one open. All right, the Summit stickers and the Summit flyer. Set that aside. Got the Edelbrock Performer RPM fuel pump. So, and I got a braided line to go from the fuel pump to the carb, because my current one is pretty darn old, but this will be a nice fuel pump. It's one that I could move the base of it around, or the bottom I should say. And then, alright, I went ahead and got these because I am done with aluminum. Okay. Pop one of these out. Oh, I got some grommets. Alright. Some old school Moroso valve covers. Yeah. This car has always had a 80s street machine kind of vibe, and of all the ones that they had out there at Summit, these ones just made the most sense. They look the best to me, and you know, no longer aluminum, easier to keep clean, and I think these are a little more timeless for me anyway. So we'll go ahead and put them on, as well as the fuel pump and the fuel line. So got some work to do. All right, guys, that's about all I got. And you know, like I say, I just got a bunch of video. I'm going to try to get most of that stuff out, get caught up, and then get back to working on these cars. I've got some stuff that's in the queue, or in the can I should say, that's ready to go for the gasser that I've been doing. I've also got some stuff that's been going on with the Bel Air, And I got to get back to the list. So it's time to update the list and cross off the items that have been done, and just kind of, kind of regroup and look and see what we want to do on some of the cars. I know the hardtop has some items that need to be done, and I want to get that thing to where it's totally, completely turnkey, no problem, jump in it and go drive it. So I know Howie wants to go for some more rides in it, so we'll get on the hardtop too. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for putting up with me, for being patient. Like I say, I'm going to get back to some Tri Five wrenching. These videos that have been sitting around, I'll get the tires aired up in them and get them out, and then we'll get back to the usual normally scheduled programming. So if 555 Chevys is something that's of interest to you, maybe a Volkswagen and mini bikes, car trailers, all the different stuff that goes along with classic cars and drag racing, and just keeping up with your fleet. If any of that stuff interests you, please subscribe, and be sure that you respond with comments on the videos. I answer all of them, and answer questions, whatever you got. I appreciate every one of my subscribers. You guys take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a good one.